Hi, it's Leon and Jacob with another Hot Property Report. Well, Jacob, let me start off by saying we've had a really good response after the COVID-19. A lot more inquiry in the market, so tell us a little bit about the property management division.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're actually seeing a lot more competition from our tenants at the moment post COVID-19. Well, I shouldn't say post, but now that some of the concerns have subsided a bit. So we're getting lots of groups through open houses, which is really good. Even though we are restricted to that 10 people inside the house, we're having people standing out on the lawn before they're allowed in, which is a really good sign. But at the same time, we are not seeing the genuine inquiry that I think we were pre-COVID. So I don't know if it's people are, tired of being tied up at home and being stuck, within four walls, and they would just want to get out and look at stuff, or what the go is. But we're chasing people who are coming through pretty hard and not really converting that many in terms of getting applications through.
But you haven't really got that many empty properties now anyway.
No, which is really good. So we have been facilitating a lot of transfers within our portfolio that we manage. So having existing tenants of ours that are wanting to look at a bigger house or, change of circumstance. So we're helping them into other properties that we manage, makes it a lot more seamless for them as tenants and also our owners in terms of downtime with the vacant properties.
Yeah, and look, from an open house point of view, we're probably getting a bit of the same response. We've had some good numbers to our open homes, but some of those people that have been coming through haven't been genuine. Genuine buyers, that is. There's been genuine people, of course.
Yeah.
But we've seen some really good numbers, some 10 and 11 groups through some of our open homes, which is really quite impressive, just post-COVID type restrictions. And I think a few of them might have been a little bit stir crazy and have to get out of the house and come through. You certainly saw that in the shopping centres and that sort of thing. So I think hopefully some of the genuine buyers will come back into the market. There's not a lot of stock on the market at the moment, so that's making it harder for buyers because there's not as much to choose from. It's good for sellers because it keeps the price stable in the market. There's a lot of talk around the media that prices are going to drop. I can't see that happening. The majority of my clients are pretty well heeled, both in commercial and residential. So you'll only come across that big downturn in the market if there's a lot of properties flooding the market, if a lot of those properties don't sell, they get a bit of mortgage stress around them. And I can't see many owners in Toowoomba or the region getting themselves into that sort of position. I think the banks have been pretty fair by deferring a lot of the loans by 6 months. And it's been good that a lot of the people I talk to haven't had to touch their super. I was a bit worried about a lot of people pulling that 10,000 out of their super and just spending it. Probably a little bit of a panic thing as well. So I think the market's sort of settled down. I've been really impressed with the amount of leases that we've been doing. A lot of people getting back into business and back into commercial properties. So that really surprised me over the last couple of weeks. I didn't think they'd come back as quick as they have. They've signed the leases and they're getting into the properties. The owners are doing fit outs and that for them. So that's a really positive sign in the market. If business starts, and then more people will get employed, and then once again the cycle starts again. And I think a lot of our landlords and tenants responded really well and really quickly to a lot of that. And we'd just like to say a very big thank you to a lot of our landlords and tenants. Certainly not to the ones that gave us grief in those first couple of days, but a lot of them did do the right thing, and it made it very good.
That's right. And I know from tenants' perspective they were very grateful, and landlords' perspective were more than happy and more than understanding of what was going on in most cases. And that might go on for another month or two as well, That's right.
Some of these businesses like the beauticians and the tattooists and some of those guys that we manage, they're only just getting back into work now, so they've been without income for a good couple of months. And they were given 24 hours notice to shut the doors. That's right. So big change in the way they have to operate business, and I think you'll find that the way consumers consume again and the way business operators run, I think a lot of changes will be put in place, and I think businesses that are slow to respond will really suffer in the next probably 6 to 12 months.
Very much so, and you saw businesses just closing down overnight if they couldn't continue the way they were.
Absolutely. So hopefully it'll be bigger, better and stronger, and
Yep.
we'll be back next month with another hot property report.